Damn, I'm mad about that. Oh, I'm mad. How can you not recording? Yeah, it's acting up. I don't know why. Oops. Yeah. No, I don't want to do anything with you. See someone else. Nope. That bear freaking.
60 Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Yeah, I'm going to go to that one.
Now back to the Wise Money Guy on Talk 650 KSPE. Welcome back to the Wise Money Guy radio show. This is Chief Investment Officer John Scambray of One Source Wealth Management of Granite Bay, California. A money management firm specializing in helping people who are retired or about to retire manage their money. Let's talk about 2024, right? Because that's what everybody wants to know. We're seeing how 2023 is ending, and it's going to be a good year for most, especially if you're a client of ours. If you're a client of somebody else, or you've made bad decisions and panicked and made emotional decisions in 2023 managing your money, 2024 I don't think is going to be any easier. Why? Well, look at all the things that are going on. Now remember, there's two times or two reasons why you may rebalance or want to change your portfolio. It's based on a micro level of changes, things that are happening to the positions in your portfolio, or things that are happening with your specific life that may cause you to need to rebalance and change the type of investments that you have. What are the 5 types of investments that are out there that encompass everything? And we've talked about this. They're stocks, bonds, real estate type investments, alternative type investments, strategies or solutions, and then cash investments like CDs, treasuries, money markets, etc. That's it.
Care.
That's all there is.
No
and rebalancing means maybe to take on more cash or redeploy from cash and take on more risk. That's typically what's going on right now as interest rates have fallen, where people's money markets aren't paying as high as they were, and now you can't get, a 6% fixed guaranteed rate of return on your money. Well, you potentially can on the corporate side of bond investing, but the risk might be too high. Remember, you can lose just as much money on bonds if you sell them prior to maturity or if the underlying institution defaults that you can on stocks. And so people think that can't happen. Well, it's not supposed to happen in the Treasury side, right? Where treasuries are guaranteed by the United States government and its taxing ability, or its ability to just print money, obviously. Yeah. But nevertheless, if you bought a long-term treasury like many banks did, when they thought that rates were going to stay where they were for much longer, which ended up not being the case because of all of the printing caused hyperinflation, which then the response to hyperinflation is to, raise interest rates or increase interest rates where borrowing and spending then deflate. And if you were sitting on low coupon bonds in your reserve portfolios as a bank, and now they're underwater, and now your depositors are going, hey, I want my money because I want to get a higher rate over at this institution, and a bank had to sell all of its reserves at massive losses. That's what happened. That's what happened starting with the Silicon Valley Bank, etc. But I suggest that you come in and meet with us by calling 916-967-3500. Again, that number is 916-967-3500. Get an appointment early because how you start the year is so important to how you'll finish the year. Rates are now coming down. And so now, if you've listened to me and you're a client of ours, you've bought, anywhere from 3-month to 5-year fixed investments. And guess what? Now, the 3-month won't change much in price. The 6-month won't change much in price because you'll just hold those to maturity. You will be rolling those into a lower interest rate environment. But the 1 to 5 year, those will actually have price appreciation, because as interest rates go down, the prices for your higher coupon bonds is greater on the secondary market than on the primary market, and you could potentially sell those at a pretty significant profit. So into 2024, lots of things are going to be out there causing you to take a look, causing hopefully your professional who's helping you with your account take a look at what your overall mix of investments are, and are they still right for your tolerance for risk, for just your overall stress level. You know, so many people that come in when they can't take it anymore. They've watched their accounts swing all over the place, and then finally when they dump things at a loss, they come in, and then that's when they go, I just can't do this anymore. And whether they were doing it themselves or doing it at a firm, that's typically when we get clients. However, don't let that happen. You know, there's profits that should be being taken right now. There should be rebalancing going on. Don't ride things up and then ride them back down, because that's what could happen in 2024. Again, on a macro level now, what's going on? Well, gosh, we got all the stuff going on in the Middle East, and prior to that, obviously, we have all the stuff going on in Eastern Europe. Now we've got, you know, tensions with China, which have been building, and they're not getting better, they're getting worse. And so those things will affect just about everything. Also, it's an election year, a core or a general election year in 2024, that the outcome won't matter. It's the uncertainty and the process of getting through the election that creates the volatility. You know, who will control Congress? Who will control the White House? Who will control the Senate? That's what causes the volatility. Once those questions are answered, then the volatility typically subsides. You know, will earnings be good? Remember, the cost of everything has gone up. Even though interest has gone down, you know, will earnings continue to be as good as they have been, where 75% of the companies reporting that are publicly traded to report their quarterly earnings, are they meeting and or exceeding their expectations in January and February on their results for the fourth quarter of 2023? So there's lots of reasons why you need to come in, sit down with us, make sure you have the right portfolio to give you the best chance of having another good year in 2024, because hopefully you had a good year in 2023. And how do you do that? You call 916-967-3500. Again, that number is 916-967-3500. Well, that's all the time we got. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you come in and see us, and also come back and listen next week. Bye, all.
Many mesothelioma lawyers, how do you choose the right firm for you and your family? I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and here's my advice to you. Do your research. Results matter. Reputation matters. Last year alone, our team recovered over $1 billion for our clients. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited.
Call 800-602-2200. That's 800-602-2200. Call now. Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always free activation with Consumer Cellular. Now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need. Plus, it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded. Armstrong and Getty, weekdays 6 till 10, and Sacramento's best talk all day. An iHeart radio station. Talk 650 KSE, Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Allison Keyes. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says we are in an existential war that must be fought despite the pressure it costs. This after troops there fatally shot 3 Israeli hostages by mistake. The BBC's Frank Gardner is in Jerusalem.
He encountered these 3 men, all in their 20s, and mistook them for Hamas fighters. The 3 men were on their own. There were no Hamas fighters around, and it looks as if they'd either been abandoned by their captors or they had managed to escape, which makes it all the more tragic.
Millions are facing weather worries this weekend, especially along the eastern seaboard. Kelly Cass is at the Weather Channel.
We're talking about a lot of rain and even the potential for severe weather in the Sunshine State. Not good news. A lot of people travel to Florida this time of year for the holidays. You've got people heading down here for the winter season. And yes, there is a chance that we could see tornadoes out of the system that's moving on through.
Now to Ohio, where a black woman who miscarried in her bathroom is awaiting action from a grand jury. She's been charged with a 5th-degree felony after a police investigation. Legal expert Lori Levinson.
This woman in Ohio is not charged with abuse of a fetus because the fetus was dead when she had her miscarriage. It has now become abuse of a corpse. But nonetheless, a woman is being criminally charged because the state does not like how she handled a non-viable pregnancy. And that is a significant issue that the courts will now have to address.
A cardinal has been convicted of embezzlement.
Cardinal Angela Becciu was convicted of embezzlement and fraud over a real estate investment in London that resulted in Vatican losses of about $150 million. The trial lasted 2.5 years and involved 9 other defendants. Becciu, once the Pope's chief of staff, is the first cardinal ever to stand trial before the Vatican's criminal court. Anna Matranga, CBS News, Rome.
Cash registers are ringing off the hook this busy holiday shopping season, and if you're planning to ship, hurry up. WBEZ reporter Branson Truitt.
The National Retail Federation expects consumers to spend more than $960 billion this holiday season. That pans out to an average of $975 per person, the highest since the 90s.
Applications for early admission to Harvard College dropped 17% from last year. Harvard's deadline came before its president and 2 others were criticized on Capitol Hill for failing to clearly say calls for genocide of Jews violate school policy. UPenn's president stepped down last week. The school's been embroiled in controversy since October 7th. This is CBS News.
Make the hiring process work for you with Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution. You can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit. The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are solely those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff, management, and parent company of KSDE. Buckle up, everyone. You are strapped in and ready for the Insurance Hour with me, your host, Carl Sussman, the resource to help you navigate the world of insurance. There is a lot of misunderstanding about what insurance is and what insurance isn't. Let me help you demystify insurance and have some fun while we're at it. Informing, educating, and entertaining Californians one policy at a time. This is Insurance Hour. Hello, hello. Yes, it is Insurance Hour, and I am your host, Carl Sussman. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to be demystifying so many things about insurance today. We've got a full agenda, so many things going on, I can't even begin, but I am. Anyway, remember, if you have questions, feel free to call in right now at 559-656-0317, or you can email questions at insurancehour.com. And I probably won't get that while I'm sitting here right now, but I certainly will get to it after the show, and we'll cover it on the next show. All right? So without further ado, let's jump right in. We have had a whirlwind this week as far as the insurance industry and the market goes in California, and it all is surrounded by the California Sustainable Insurance Strategy that the Insurance Commissioner has put together. So I wanted to focus today specifically on that and how it relates to what's going to happen, right? What literally is going to be happening with purchasing insurance. Since right now, if you look to get an insurance quote, you probably found it's a little more difficult than it used to be. I want to start out by giving you a little update. Ricardo Lara, who is the California Insurance Commissioner, did a a presentation in front of the Assembly Committee on Insurance for the state of California just a couple of days ago. And I want to read you some of the quotes and explain really what the implications are of some of those quotes. The first one is, he says, quote, California is at an insurance crossroads, and for many Californians, this is an insurance emergency. Well, we get that, right? We currently have about 87% of the insurance market shut down, or heavily restricted. You know what? We knew that part, right? But we have a caller coming in, so we'll bring him in and answer his insurance question. Home, you are live with Insurance Hour. What can I answer for you today?
Hey, Carl. Calling in today to see, with the current state of insurance in California, what are careers in insurance looking like out there? What are the options on that?
That's a great question. Insurance is it's funny in the insurance industry, it's not typically one that you see people seeking out, right? Your parents don't say, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a politician, or an insurance person. It's not usually in there. And so the insurance industry in general, not just in California, everywhere, is always sort of at a deficit for good talent. So if you do have the inclination to want to get into an industry that needs people, that needs brain, and needs people that really want to be involved, the insurance industry is a great place to be. Now, as far as California goes, because of the challenges that we're facing right now, it is probably a little more difficult to find an actual job to take, per se. However, since the legislation is slowly moving forward, and as we're starting to see these guidelines kick in, we're going to have a massive boomerang effect, meaning for the last, let's say, 4 years comfortably, there's been a squeeze happening with insurance availability in California. And once these different parts of the California Insurance Stability Act go into place, we're going to see a major whiplash, and there's going to be shopping galore. Everyone's going to be looking for new quotes, looking for new companies, looking for new options, and that's going to mean busy sales, busy underwriting, and of course busy claims, all sorts of things. Now, keep in mind, Colin, that California, we're always the first to find the problems and solve them. So what we're seeing in California, even though we're not alone, Texas, Colorado, Florida, there are other states that are having similar problems. We're already the first ones to be finding some solutions. So even if you're looking to go into the insurance industry and have a career out of it outside of California, you can expect a little resistance now. And like I said, over time, as people start to see, as the industry starts to shift with new guidelines and probably following a lot of the good stuff we're doing in California, things will open up again. Are you actually contemplating going into this illustrious industry?
I am actually contemplating going into the insurance industry.
Wow, that's terrific. What interests you about insurance? I'm curious.
I like insurance as an investment opportunity. I like insurance as it's like an overall, it's a guarantee in some regards that at least for health, life insurance and other elements of insurance, you're really getting. You're getting your results no matter what.
You're right. And it's funny you bring up life insurance. That's probably the one policy you can be sure if you get the right card, you will absolutely get your return on. What's interesting, and I want you to be aware of also, is there's a little bit of a misconception sometimes with an insurance policy, just insurance in general, that there is a return on it. And some insurance policies, right, if we're talking about investment type products, are designed to have a return. But others are not. For example, when you purchase car insurance, your expectation shouldn't be get more money back than you pay in, right? That's a policy that's there in the event that there is a claim, if there is an accident, then what you would expect to have a payout then. Very different than, let's say, a whole life insurance policy that might have cash accumulating where you have an expectation of getting more money than you're paying. And I think it's important that everyone realizes that there's a difference between those two types of policies and what their expectations are. You bring up a great point.
Well, thank you. That's actually very helpful. Especially instead of not just looking at these investments, but it seems to be also protection a lot. Obviously it's a protection, but it's like a dual process.
Yeah, there is not